in the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything.
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. Woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
Why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate.
We're all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Bill Maher didn't just oppose Sunny Hostin. He completely dismantled her argument and the entire woke Hollywood spectacle with the precision of a surgeon and the sharp wit of a master roaster. His rebuttal was so flawlessly executed that it left the audience in stunned silence. And here's the kicker. Despite both being staunchly left-wing and theoretically on the same side, Maher has rejected the woke playbook, making it crystal clear to Hostin and everyone watching exactly where he stands.
In the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
What exactly did Maher say that sent Hollywood's woke warriors into a full-blown meltdown? And how might this showdown shape the internal battle brewing on the left? Strap in, because we're about to break it all down. And trust me, you won't want to miss a beat.
If I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for an organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Bill Maher recently appeared on The View to promote his latest book, but what was expected to be a routine PR stint quickly turned into a fiery verbal showdown. The left-leaning host shocked everyone by effectively gaslighting his own camp. No, one saw it coming. It was like a backyard barbecue, with the woke mob getting grilled. The clash began when Sunny Hostin attempted to corner Maher with a pointed question about why he was weaponizing the term woke.
But it struck me that in the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and baptized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term, because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
Hostin thought she was making a masterful move by subtly branding Maher as a hypocrite, attempting to paint him as an outsider attacking a culture he supposedly belonged to. But Maher wasn't naive. He saw right through her setup and had no intention of falling for the woke mob's all-too-familiar tactic of twisting words to trap their opponents.
Not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want, because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't want to call it the super far left.
Maher's opening move was to skillfully sidestep Hostin's trap, arguing that language is fluid and that a word's meaning can evolve dramatically over time. Rather than using woke in its original context, he acknowledged the definition that the far right had imposed on it. Hostin likely expected to see him stumble under the weight of hypocrisy, but instead, she walked straight into his carefully crafted setup. Maher flipped the script, forcing Hostin to fall into the very snare she had laid.
But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews. Okay, that was a joke.
Too dark.
Well, maybe it is, but it's true. I mean, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a first organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Did you catch that? Bill Maher, a staunch liberal, admitted he snapped to attention when he saw the woke crowd backing Hamas. Meanwhile, these self-proclaimed woke warriors have the audacity to criticize Israelis for simply existing, even as they applaud Hamas's actions. Despite his liberal credentials, Maher is just as shocked by this madness as the rest of us.
Well, I mean, it's just astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war, I mean before the war. trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv, a place that has your values.
Most of the women on The View, including the hosts, would undoubtedly choose to live in Israel over Palestine. Israelis share values that align more closely with American culture, making Israel a far more appealing choice. In reality, none of these self-proclaimed woke activists would willingly choose Palestine, where rigid laws severely restrict women's freedoms. Maher didn't hold back, exposing the blatant double standards of the woke brigade. They loudly criticize Israel, yet they would barely last a few minutes under Palestine's oppressive rules. The irony was undeniable. Maher highlighted the stark contrast in women's rights between Israel and Palestine, and that revelation sent the woke faction into a frenzy.
Women have this is a show watched by a lot of women. Women have no rights in this place, and a lot of majority Muslim countries around the world. There is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from harassment. That too. But you throw around the term apartheid. There is a gender apartheid in a lot of the world, where women are second-class citizens, at best.
Maher delivered another searing blow by highlighting the vast gender rights gap in many Muslim countries, the very places the woke warriors so fervently champion. Essentially, he challenged Hostin and her crew to hop on a plane and witness firsthand how women are sidelined at every turn. It was a subtle yet devastating uppercut that left Hostin and her panel scrambling for a response. Desperate, they fell back on their classic "we're just innocent bystanders" defense, hoping to trap Maher once again. But Bill Maher isn't one to back down easily. If they expected him to falter, they were in for another harsh dose of reality.
Concerned about the innocent civilians that have been collectively punished and murdered, largely children and women.
Of course.
And are you at all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Hostin quickly realized that Bill Maher had completely dismantled her earlier argument, where she questioned why a true leftist like him wouldn't embrace woke culture. In an attempt to regain control, she tried to paint him as someone endorsing violence against innocent civilians. Her follow-up, coming on the heels of Maher's sharp rebuttal, was a textbook woke maneuver designed to undermine his moral character. When their arguments start to collapse under scrutiny, the go-to tactic is to attack someone's ethics. But Maher saw it coming. He fired back with another devastating salvo, completely unraveling Hostin's strategy and the broader woke playbook. It was a masterstroke that deserves special recognition.
Well, that's ridiculous, but it's a neighborhood, and they're defending themselves. Now, do you think Hamas needs to be...
Hostin quickly realized that Maher had just demolished her previous argument about why a bona fide leftist like him wouldn't support woke culture. In a last-ditch effort, she attempted to brand him as a proponent of violence against innocent civilians, a textbook woke tactic. When their argument crumbles under scrutiny, they resort to moral posturing. But Maher was ready. He saw the maneuver coming from a mile away and fired back with another crushing salvo, reducing Hostin's feeble strategy and the entire woke playbook to irreparable shambles. And here's the clincher. Maher's response wasn't just sharp, it was a masterclass in countering setups. Pay close attention, folks.
This is the question.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
All right. So Hamas needs to be destroyed because they are a terrorist organization who say openly that they want to commit genocide on the Jewish people, on the state of Israel. That's what from the river to the sea means. Okay? And they say it very openly. They said, we did this. They've attacked Israel 5 times. They've started 5 since they were given that land back. They could have chosen to turn that place into any place they wanted to, and they took a lot of money that they took from the international community and they spent it on bombs and building tunnels.
It's clear that Hostin is completely tongue-tied as Maher unleashes his blistering tirade. But the show is far from over. Let's see what explosive revelation he drops next.
So if they need to be destroyed, how do we do that? I don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to do that. I assume the Israeli of course everybody is, but that's what happens here's a way to stop that. Stop it, Israel.
And then it happened. A truth bomb. delivered with Bill Maher's trademark calm precision. Notice how the applause erupted from everyone except Whoopi, who was left speechless, like a soaked dog shivering on a bitter Friday night. Maher tore into the woke mindset so decisively that even the host's own panel, and the typically left-leaning studio audience, couldn't help but applaud his brilliance. He knows the woke playbook inside and out, dismantling its absurdities, with surgical precision, but he wasn't finished yet. He saved his best shot for last when Whoopi questioned whether the media skews the news to push a particular narrative. Maher's response? Nothing short of masterful. Listen to this.
It's just nothing.
Yeah.
And it's narrative over truth. I mean, it's not like when I hear people talk on either side of it, I always think they're lying. They're just telling me half. And I never trust them anywhere until I check out the other hand.
Once again, Bill Maher launched a scathing attack on the woke agenda, cleverly rebranding it as the narrative of truth. But if you're familiar with the ultra-left, you know that truth isn't really their priority. Their real objective is to force their dogmatic narratives down everyone's throats, without a hint of debate. They routinely sacrifice honesty for the sake of convenience, and anyone brave enough to challenge them is swiftly canceled and erased from the conversation. That's precisely why Maher refuses to jump on the woke bandwagon. It's filled with people pushing hidden agendas, determined to erode the cultural and traditional foundations upon which America was built. Maher's bold stance sent shockwaves through the room, even winning him a few converts from the right. Did you catch Hostin's reaction? She looked utterly stunned, as if she had seen a ghost and was practically desperate to make her exit. Naturally, she wasn't about to let Maher have the final word, so she made one last-ditch effort, accusing him of abandoning his liberal ideals. But once again, Maher delivered the perfect rebuttal,